Let me start with something most people never say out loud. A lot of us grow up believing that confidence is something that you're born with, like it's a personality trait. Some people are born bold and outspoken, and the rest of us are just not. And because of that belief, we wait. We wait for confidence to magically appear one day, for that fearless version of ourselves to suddenly wake up inside us. But here's the truth that I learned the hard way. Confidence is not something you're born with. It is something you build. And you often build it during the hardest seasons of your life. For me, confidence actually started growing on the days when I felt the least confident. Days when I woke up sad for no clear reason. Days when my chest felt heavy the moment I opened my eyes. Days when loneliness hit even if I wasn't alone. Days when I questioned everything about my life, my choices, my future. And yes, I still have some of those days, but I don't handle them the way I used to. Because here's the part that changed everything. Confidence doesn't come from feeling good about yourself. It comes from teaching your brain you are through your actions. That's what we are going to talk about today. How to build confidence even when you don't feel confident at all. Not through motivation, not through fake positivity, but through real psychology, practical steps, and identity shifts that actually work in real life. For a long time, my mornings were heavy. I used to wake up with this strange sadness in my chest. I couldn't explain it to anyone. I felt alone even though nothing was technically wrong. I would second guess everything. I would think 10 times before sending the text, before starting my day, before making the simplest choices. And here's what psychology says. The human brain is naturally wired with negative bias. This means your mind pays more attention to threats, fears, and worst case scenarios than your strengths. If you wait for confidence magically to appear, it won't. That is when I learned something that changed my life. You cannot rely on your emotions to tell you who you are. You train your emotions by showing them evidence. Confidence comes with evidence, and evidence comes from action. Psychologists call this the self-perception theory. It basically means you learn who you are by watching what you repeatedly do. So if you keep avoiding hard conversations, your brain concludes, I cannot handle pressure. If you keep overthinking instead of acting, your brain concludes, I'm not capable. But when you consistently do the small things you're timid or you're afraid of, your brain starts saying, wait, maybe I'm stronger than I think. Confidence is not a feeling. It's a pattern the brain learns. Let me give you a real example. There were mornings when getting out of my bed felt like a wall. Not because I was lazy, but because the sadness was heavy, the loneliness was heavy, the doubt was heavy. So I started building confidence in the simplest way possible. Micro wins. Things like making my bed, drinking a full glass of water, going for a 10-minute walk, writing down one thing I was afraid to face, sending one message I avoided, or completing a small task at work. Why did this help? Because micro wins create a dopamine trail. Your brain starts associating with accomplishments, competence, and capability. Even if the wins are tiny, they shift your identity from I don't know what I'm doing to I get things done. You don't become a confident person. You teach your brain to see you as one. Confidence grows through exposure, not through comfort. In psychology, this is called gradual exposure therapy. Meaning, the more you expose yourself to something that makes you anxious, the less power it has. I started applying this everywhere in my life. If I was afraid to speak up, I practiced speaking up in small ways. If I was afraid to set boundaries, I practiced saying no in low stakes situations. If I feared taking decisions alone, I started taking small solo decisions without asking 5 people. Your brain rewires through discomfort, not through thinking, not through journaling, but through actions. Nothing destroys confidence faster than breaking your own promises. It creates an internal identity of unreliability. But here's the surprising part. You don't lose confidence because you fail. You lose confidence because you keep lying to yourself. Register this in your brain. So I started small. I didn't say I will wake up at 4:30 a.m. I will meditate for 1 hour. I will transform my life overnight. Instead, I said I will do 2 minutes of deep breathing. I will read 1 page. I will complete 1 meaningful task today. The goal was definitely not perfection. The goal was trust. And trust builds confidence. One of the things that improved my confidence the most was stopping people pleasing. I began asking one simple question: does this decision respect me? If the answer was no, I stepped away. Not with drama, not with anger, just with clarity. Because confidence grows when you stop abandoning yourself to make others comfortable. Every time you choose yourself, you reinforce the belief I matter. And that belief is the heart of confidence. The fifth habit, neutral self-talk. Not positive, not negative, but neutral. When I woke up feeling sad or lonely, I avoided saying things like I'm useless, nothing is working, but I also didn't force fake positivity like I'm amazing and unstoppable. Instead, I practiced neutral language. I'm having a heavy morning, but I can handle this today. I'm feeling low, but I've gotten through this before. This sadness feels real, but it won't last forever. Neutral self-talk regulates the nervous system. It keeps your mind functional and calm. Confidence grows when your self-talk becomes steady and not dramatic. Let me tell you where I'm now. I'm not going to pretend I'm completely out of it. I still have days where I wake up with sadness. I still overthink sometimes. I still doubt myself. But the difference is huge. It no longer controls me. It no longer stops my life. It no longer dictates my identity. I've become someone who can show up even when it's hard. Someone who can take decisions or actions even when she feels unsure. Someone who can trust herself again. This is confidence, not loudness, not perfection, just consistent self-trust. Before I end this video, I want to remind you of something. I didn't create this channel because I had everything figured out. I created it because I needed a space where we could talk about the real parts of healing and self-growth. The mornings that felt heavy, the days you feel lost, the slow, quiet rebuilding of confidence. If this video helped you, I would truly appreciate it if you subscribe. It supports the channel and it helps us grow this community of people who are learning to trust themselves again. Thank you for spending your time with me. Take care and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.